Hi ladies, today's video is not planned, it's just something that I was thinking of recently. So basically Dallas Austin, who is the creator and writer director of The Chosen, or the main writer you could say, he created the show. He came out and did a video in response to a pride flag being on set. And I must say, when I watched his video, like initially I was like, oh whoa, what's going on over there? But I must say, once I watched his video, I was quite impressed with his response, because his response was very much, I'm not going to be shaken by the opinions of others. I'm going to allow the Lord to lead me. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've endorsed The Chosen on my social media. I've told loads of people, you need to watch the show, you need to watch the show. And I've come to see that there is some error there and things like that. But I would be lying if I didn't say that it's one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen. It's so well done, so well written. And it really gives a good, it really helps us to remember that, hey, Jesus was in human flesh and the disciples were human. And, like, I know it sounds odd, but it's just that sometimes when we look at the word, we just forget that it's everyday people living everyday life, making choices just like us. Like, the people make the Bible sound like some far away old book that has no standing for this time. But it's about human relationships to God and human relationships with each other, the 10 Commandments, right? So anyway, so basically, I was really impressed by that response, because it just reminded me again that when we care so much about other people's opinions, it's actually an idol. Sometimes when we think of idols, we think, oh, well, I haven't got a wooden thing in my house. I haven't got a Buddha statue, so I don't have any idols. But if you are consumed with what people think about you, how you're coming across, how you're sounding, and this and that, if you are consumed with what are people going to think if I do this, and trust me, I'm saying it as someone who's had to really, really work on this, that's idol worship. That is, well, God told me to do this, but oh, I don't know if people will agree. I don't know how people will perceive it. So I think I might just not do what God told me to do, because, people, it's idol worship. So I'm just saying this to say, whether or not we agree with all of what The Chosen puts out there, or how they conduct their business affairs or ministry affairs, I must say that's how we should be as Christians. The Bible talks about being tossed to and fro, and things like that. The Bible is very much, choose ye this day who you will serve. I made light and dark. It's like, there's no like, do you see what I mean? It's either you're this way or that way. And I like the fact that he was so resolute and confident in how he presented. And I think that's something that we can learn from, that at least, to say, yeah, just be sure of what you're doing. It's not about being ignorant and being wrong and strong, but it's about, no, where do I actually stand and why do I stand here? Another thing I have to say is he made a good point as well about, it's a difficult one, but he made a good point about the fact that people said, oh, you shouldn't have someone have a pride flag on your camera. But then I was thinking, if it was a Christian person who, like he said, if it was a Christian person who had a Christian, like top on or something, we've seen cases where Christians have worn necklaces and we're like, oh, how could the workplace come down on her? She's just wearing a necklace. And we feel a way about that. So if he was to take that same energy, that would actually be hypocritical. We need to be fair. Do you see what I'm saying? We need to be fair when we want things. And God is a very fair God. God allows all of us to make our own choices. He just says at the end of it, there will be consequences, whether good or bad, but make your own choices. Yes, I'm not going to force you to love me. I'm not going to force you to worship me. So I think that's something that has to be considered. If we're saying, well, this is my energy for this, you need to keep that same energy. So those are just two things that I just wanted to share. I've never really done a video like this, but it was just something that was on my mind. And I think, it was just a reminder, don't be tossed to and fro. And if you care to a huge degree what people think about you, your idol is people.
Anything I put before my God is an idol.